Hi everyone, I'm Agina Brown, your host of Career Cloud by Give Specific. Today we're joined by Mr. Marlon Gilbert. Hello, Marlon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
That's good. Marlon is someone I've known for quite some time. We're from the same town. He is from the most amazing place on the planet, the town of Cuthbert, Georgia. So I'm going to read some points about Marlon, just a little bit from his biography, and then we'll jump into the interview. Mr. Marlon Gilbert is a math and science teacher. He received his bachelor's in middle grades education from the Fort Valley State University, his Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction in Educational Leadership from Columbus State University, and will graduate from Albany State University in May 2021 with his Education Specialist in Educational Leadership. To learn more about Mr. Gilbert, please stay tuned for this interview, as well as read more on his bio on our website at www.givespecific.org. All right, Marlon, so you are a teacher.
Yes.
Tell us, what made you want to become a teacher and what path did you take to get there?
Well, teaching is something that I've always wanted to do. I grew up wanting to be a teacher. I would probably say it had a lot to do with the career path that my mom took and some other family members just growing up around educators. And I would really say that I think that I fell in love with being able to tell people what to do. Because as a child, I think I probably was pretty bossy. We always played school. Anytime we played school, I was going to be the teacher. Nobody else could be the teacher. And so it was something, I guess, destiny, purpose. I really think that it was just meant for me to be a teacher. It was a career path. Like throughout, of course, my education, I changed different things that I wanted to do, but I would always end back up and into education. And I remember after I graduated from high school, I had decided that I was going to be an anesthesiologist. So I went to Fort Valley State with majoring in biology, and I went to talk to my advisor one day. This was like when I first got there, the first couple of weeks, taking core classes, so the major really don't matter. But I was talking to my advisor, and he was asking me, what did I plan to do as a biology major? And I told him, I said, well, I want to be an anesthesiologist. He said, so do you plan to go to medical school as soon as you graduate? And I was like, well, probably not. I might take a little break. And he said, well, what are you going to do during that break? And I say, I'm going to be a teacher. And he said, well, you should major in middle grades education and get your 2 concentrations and take the biology classes. So when you finish, you'll be able to go to medical school, or you can teach and already have the certifications to teach. And I was like, okay, maybe this is the sign. Let me major in education. And this is where I've been for the last 6 years.
That's quite a path. It's interesting that I think a lot of students should know that you don't always, what you go to college wanting to be isn't always what it comes out to be.
Right.
Life happens and things change.
Exactly. Most definitely.
So with the climate of the world now, teachers are much more respected than they were, but teachers in the past have been so undervalued. Are there any rewards? Like, do you get rewarded for any accomplishments that you might make, or just your daily efforts that you have every day with your students? Do you ever get rewarded for any of that?
Well, I think it depends on where you are. I know a lot of teachers do receive merit pay, receive bonuses, and all of that, of course, is dependent on how or what the standard says about the performance of a teacher. So a lot of times you will see where teachers receive bonuses for good test scores, high test scores, or making improvements, gains like that. But I think the biggest reward is the relationship that you have with children. And especially for me, because I teach in my community. I came back home to teach. I'm still at home teaching. And so I'm teaching people who I'm related to, or relatives of my friends and classmates, and just to see the growth, to see how much a child grow from that first day to the 180th day is, I think it's cliche, And a lot of teachers, and I think I'm probably one of the most real people, because I be like, it ain't all cookies and cream and all of that, you know. But that really is one thing that I can say is true. Like, being real about everything, seeing the growth in the child is a huge reward. And of course, I don't think we'll ever receive our just due as teachers, because we really do a lot, and it's showing even more so now with the climate of the world. And that in itself is a reward. And having that relationship with the students, seeing the students grow academically, socially, just all around, the transformation is a huge reward in the world of education.
That's the answer of a good teacher. Knowing that you have the passion, like, that's what makes you happy, being passionate about your students and seeing them happy, seeing them successful, and knowing that you had a part in making that happen.
Exactly.
And if I'm not mistaken, you were Teacher of the Year, right?
Yes.
All right. Congratulations. That's a major accomplishment in itself.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Is there anything you wish you would have known before becoming a teacher?
Well, like I said, I've always been a teacher. Even before being an actual teacher, being a certified teacher, I thought I was a teacher, and I didn't think there was anything you could tell me about the school or how education should run. But I will say, one thing that I wish I had known before becoming a teacher is that they were not joking about the pay. I mean, honestly, and like, it's not as bad as people make it seem, but I wish that, you know, I can now that I'm in it, I understand what they mean about they don't pay us enough. And I wish that was a joke. I wish I had known that that was not a joke before I got into it. But like I say, this is destiny, this is purpose. I believe that even if I knew it was here, you know, regardless of how true it was, I believe that this is something that I still would have been doing.
That's good. That means you get the satisfaction from it, regardless of the money.
Most definitely.
It's just in your heart.
Right. And the money is really not that bad. We can stand to have a little bit. Yeah, we can stand to have a little more, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
In the last 5 years, is there like a new belief or behavior or even a habit that you've had that has most improved your life or been most beneficial in any aspect of your life? Most
definitely. I would say when I was in college and I was Mr. Fort Valley, we had to have a biography for them to read while we were walking out. And I chose this quote then. That was about 2013, I think it was. And the quote said, "Things turn out best for those who make the best of the way things turn out." And I read the quote and I was like, "Oh, that sounds good." So I was like, that's my quote to live by. But at that point, it was just, I chose the quote because of how it sounded. And I didn't really live by that. And what I say in the last 5 years, going on 6 years, is that a new habit of mine is to have a positive outlook, have a positive mindset, regardless of how anything comes at me. So I believe that that quote is something that I now live by, because I truly do believe that those who make the best of the way things turn out, you know, they actually, how can I put it? They turn out best for that person. And as a teacher, like I say, it's not always all good. As a matter of fact, most of the times it's not all good, but the way that I react or the way that I change my reaction to it kind of sort of helps me get through it and keeps me going. Because of course, you know, you're gonna always have your natural reaction. People tend to forget that teachers, we are human, and we have the same feelings, the same natural reactions, the same thoughts, all of that. So we have to make a conscious effort. And once I began, and I say that probably happened around my 3rd year of teaching, where I started to make a conscious effort to be positive in all things, then things started working better for me as a teacher, as a man, just in life, period. Having a new outlook and a positive outlook, living by that and having that habit to when I feel something negative coming, because it's gonna come, and I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna change it, and so just changing that outlook, having the habit of changing the outlook to be positive, to have a positive outcome.
I like that. I like that a lot. Is there what's something that's the most worthwhile investment you've made in your life? This could be time, your energy into something, money. Is there anything that you can think of?
Right now, I would say, worthwhile investment. I would probably say furthering my education. Because not only is my education affording me the opportunity to grow in my career, but it's giving me a new outlook on life. Being like I say, I'm back at home and I teach at home. And so there hasn't been many things that have changed in my life other than the 4 years that I went to undergrad. And so furthering my education, it afforded me the opportunity to see things differently, or to see a wider range of things. It contributed to my growth as an individual. And I would say that would probably be one of my biggest investments, time, money, because a lot of times we look at school and we're like, okay, this was a waste of time. I spent all of this money and I'm not getting anywhere. But what I've done is going to allow me the opportunity to grow in my career. And if I can grow in my career, then that increases the impact that I have on people, the number of people, the range of people, just everything. So I think to date, that's probably one of my biggest investments of time and money. So
that's commendable, because school is not easy. So I know you
really not.
Right. So I can
especially not with a full-time job. So.
Okay. You hit on being at home now and working from home. Is there a major difference? Do you see a difference? Do you miss the classroom? Is there a big difference between being in the classroom and being virtual?
Well, actually, we still work from the school building. Okay. So even though our students are virtual, we are in the classroom. And I would say the only thing that really, let me say this, a lot of things change. A lot of things change. And I feel like I'm working harder now than I ever have. But when you look at the big scheme of things, the only thing that really changed is the medium. And so, whereas we would normally be face-to-face, we're having live synchronous class through a computer. And so my expectation for my students, really, it hasn't changed. We still we go through our day daily. I turn my students loose to work, and then we bring the class back. And so it still kind of have some of the same elements of the regular classroom, but the face-to-face, of course, that's the biggest thing. And what that takes away, that takes away the relationships. And so whereas I could walk here and talk to this student, or walk here to talk to this student, I have to go try to find them on the computer screen. We don't have that natural human-to-human interaction. But being through the computer, I still try to mirror a traditional classroom as much as possible. I would say one thing that helps me, being in a small district, of course, I know all of the students know me. And with this year, the 8th graders that I'm teaching this year, I taught them in the 4th grade. So we already have sort of a relationship, but it's still kind of different. And I'm looking forward to getting back into the classroom.
Well, at least you're in the school.
Right.
So you're not bound to your home or to one room, all day in a tight confined space. At least you have a little bit of freedom to be able to. And another thing, I like how you said that, like the only thing about virtual is you can't really have the relationship with your students like you like. But like you said, being from a small town and where everybody knows everybody, you still kind of get that ability to communicate with your students and have that relationship, even with the parents, because you probably know all of them as well.
Right. Right. Yeah, so In that sense, much hasn't changed. So,
right. Is there any advice you give to some students who want to be a teacher or who are thinking about pursuing a career in teaching?
I would say make sure that this is what you want to do. Make sure, and it's kind of hard to know before you do it if what you really want to do. But I would say I'm going to give that advice first. Make sure that teaching is what you really want to do, because if you go ahead and make that decision, then when you get into it, you kind of know I really want to do this. So you're going to work hard to make sure that you can do it. And I would say if you decided to be a teacher and you start teaching and it's not for you, have the courage to step away from it. And so I think that's the greatest advice. Make sure it's what you want to do. You get there and you figure it out that that's not it. Have the courage to step away.
I think that's big, because for teachers who don't have that courage, the students suffer in the long run because you're not passionate. So you don't, so that's big in realizing what you really want to do. Right. Marlon, you've been amazing. Thank you for, we don't want to take too much time. So I want to thank you for joining us today and being willing to do this interview with us.
No doubt. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. For all of our viewers, we want to thank you for watching. We want to ask that you follow us and subscribe to us on Facebook, YouTube, and on our website. You can find all of our videos there. We also are a nonprofit organization, so if you are able, please donate to us on patreon.com or paypal.com, and come on back for the next video. We have some things in store. We don't want you to miss it. We want you to stay with us, keep participating, keep filling out the questionnaires, just be as involved with us as you can be, because we want you and we want to bring it to you. So please join us for the next video, and we will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye, Marlon.
See you later.